What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another New York Giants video. And tonight, folks, we got a lot to talk about. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the coming days. Still a lot to be done for the Giants and very little time. Going to talk about the potential Blake Martinez rework deal that they're trying to finagle together. Not sure if it's going to work out or not. The rumors around Mitch Trubisky and more. So, folks, before I get into that, make sure to go follow us on all of our social media platforms on Big Blue Avenue at Instagram, Twitter, and our YouTube channel at Big Blue Avenue. Really appreciate all the support everybody's given us so far. And the New York Giants are in a very interesting position right now. They have 22 unrestricted free agents that are set to hit the market going into next week, officially on March 16th. Now, for folks, of course, it was rumored yesterday that Joe Schoen is not expected to retain fullbacks Elijah Penny and Colin Gillespie. Elijah Penny has been on the Giants roster since 2018, with Colin Gillespie being signed to a one-year deal last year, mainly for special teams purposes. So it'll be interesting to see what the Giants do. I heard they're looking more for an HVAC type of player to fill that position, which would make sense, considering the offense that they're bringing in here with Brian Dable as the new head coach and Mike Kafka as the offensive coordinator. I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen with that. But folks, Gillespie and Penny are not the only players that are going to be leaving this team. Many more will be on the outs as well. It's more than likely that Evan Engram will be leaving as well, along with guys like Jabril Peppers and potentially Lorenzo Carter. And then also Will Hernandez, but I feel like we all know that the writing is on the wall for him. But before I get into the Mitch Trubisky rumor and more into Blake Martinez, remember, folks, we have a new partnership with BetUS, America's favorite sports book, serving customers for 25 plus years. Bet on all your favorite sports. You can use our promo code below at JOIN125. Again, that is JOIN125. You get a 125% sign-up bonus up to $2,500. You can bet on the go, anytime, anywhere, on your mobile device. You get fast payouts and enjoy live betting where you can bet during the game for the earliest and best lines. That's BetUS, where the game begins. Make sure to go check out BetUS, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I want to talk about Mitch Trubisky. So the rumors are heating up today. There was a report, and again, I don't know how much truth there is in this. Sometimes people say things when they're verified and it blows up just to, get the crowd riled up. And yes, the New York media is somewhat toxic, but unfortunately, it's gotten to this point where there are real rumors around the Giants potentially being front runners to sign Mitch Trubisky. And I think it's laughable that the Giants are this serious about bringing him in. And this has nothing to do with Mitch Trubisky, the player. And here's the tweet that was brought up today by Charles Robinson. I looked him up. He has that blue check mark, whatever that means, and over 100,000 followers. Quick note on a quarterback not named Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, both those players, big headlines today. Spoke to a team in the thick of it for a competitive backup quarterback in free agency, and they have a strong belief that Mitchell Trubisky is going to end up with the New York Giants and competing with Daniel Jones for the starting job. Now, I read through some of the comments, and there were some good, some bad in regards to bringing Trubisky in. And I'm one of those people that does not think Mitch Trubisky should be brought in to this football team. And this has nothing to do with Mitch Trubisky, the player. This has everything to do with the current situation the Giants are in as a franchise. I mentioned before, we have 22 unrestricted free agents. The Giants are still $5 million approximately over in cap after the cuts of Rudolph and Devontae Booker. Joe Schoen needs to shell out another $33 million to get to his goal of clearing $40 million. We don't know when that's going to be. What we do know is that the NFL has reset the salary cap this offseason to $208.2 million. The Giants are still over that. Thank you very much, Dave Gettleman. Why the Giants should not sign Mitch Trubisky? Well, last offseason, he signed with the Buffalo Bills for a one-year, $2.5 million deal. The Giants are in no position to sign Trubisky and what he's looking for. Trubisky is entering his 6th NFL season. Jones is entering his 4th. Trubisky is going to be looking for a starting role because he looked really good last year in relief for Josh Allen. And this is probably a guy who can still start in the NFL. Why not take an opportunity with a team like Washington or Indianapolis or even Houston? I know Lovie Smith came out and said that they're really not looking for a quarterback right now because there's other problems. But look, there are teams out there that need quarterbacks more than the Giants. You could even throw Seattle in the mix now, the team that just dealt away their star franchise quarterback. I read somewhere, I don't know where it was, that Trubisky's market could be worth up to $10 million. The Giants don't have $10 million to spend on Mitch Trubisky. I don't think that's what its market is going to be. I'm just telling you, folks, I read that somewhere. I think Mitch Trubisky's market should be no more than $3 to $4 million. He has not proven himself since leaving the Chicago Bears. And there were a lot of things working against him in Chicago, very similar to Daniel Jones. Trubisky had a good receiver in an Allen Robinson. He had a good running back in David Montgomery, but what was he lacking? He was lacking an offensive line. He did not have a good tight end until they drafted Cole Kmet. Too little, too late. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Giants and if they go after Mitch Trubisky. To play devil's advocate, if the deal is cost effective, if they sign Trubisky to a similar deal they did with Buffalo this past offseason, I'm all for it. But Jones should be the starting quarterback, if healthy, in 2022. Make him play out his rookie contract, sign a backup quarterback for cheaper, who is clearly an upgrade over Mike Glennon. And 2 names come to mind. One I've been punching through videos left and right is Jacoby Brissett, as you all know. I also think Case Keenum would be a really rock-solid option as well. Case Keenum started an NFC Championship game a few years back. So I think those 2 names are options the Giants should be looking at in addition to Mitch Trubisky. But I'd put both of those 2 before Mitch Trubisky. So that's how I feel about Mitch. I don't want him because I think Daniel Jones should be the starter in 2022. And I don't think it would be a cost-effective signing for this football team. Again, I could be wrong. Maybe they sign him for $3 million. Then I'd be like, okay, fine. But as of right now, we're not in a cap-healthy situation, and we're trying to work that way. Next up, Giants are trying to rework the deal of Blake Martinez to get into a cap-healthy situation. Blake Martinez, as I mentioned in my last video, is due about $14 million this year as what he's accounted for against the cap. The Giants could save around $8 to $9 million by releasing him, with accumulating over $5 million in dead money. So I think Blake Martinez should stay on this roster because you have Reggie Ragland, who's a free agent, and the only inside linebacker really left of significance is Tay Crowder. I don't think guys like Tay Crowder and Carter Coughlin are the guys you want going into free agency. You want to have somebody there. And Giants' run defense sucked last year. So keep Blake Martinez, try to rework this deal, and you could also extend him to even out some money. Extend him to a 1-year deal. The problem is his injury, right? We don't know what type of player he's going to be coming off this injury. But being the situation he's in, being that he's still under contract, I think it would make sense for Blake Martinez to take a pay cut this year. And then you can talk about a 1 to 2 year extension next offseason. If the market will reset itself, if Martinez has improved his stock, the Giants may want to pay him more to a long-term deal. Who knows? But I think it's imperative that Blake Martinez stays on this football team in 2022. Well, that's all the thoughts I've got for now, folks. Really appreciate everybody for watching this video. Make sure to go follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Big Blue Avenue. Appreciate everybody. As always, the fans, you guys and gals, are the ones that make these videos work. Without you, we wouldn't be doing these. So we want you guys to have the most content, the most knowledge heading into the off season and into free agency and the NFL draft. Next week, possibly even this weekend, I'm going to dive into some potential free agents that I think the Giants could potentially be going after in addition to Mitch Trubisky. Folks, without further ado, let's go Big Blue.